What's up, Pyromaniacs? It's D-Rex here, giving you a State of the Union address on behalf of Pyromaniac.com. Lots of exciting things are happening with our site right now, and I just wanted to take a brief moment to tell you about some of those things and give some props and some shout outs to the guys that are on the team, on the Pyro team, that are working really hard, and then also to give some shout outs to you guys, the our fans and our customers. So just wanted to say we appreciate everything that you guys do to help us on this journey. We love your patronage. We love the feedback that you give us on Facebook.com/Pyromaniac. Getting a lot of good discussions happening on Twitter.com/PYROMAN, the number 1AC. Keep it up. We love that. You know, one of the great things that's happening right now, we're in the, that's my dog coughing. Hey, stop smoking over there. One of the great things that's happening with our site is, and we've been talking about it for, over a year now, it's taken longer to come together than we would have thought, but we're hoping that it's going to be a great product once it's finally done. That is Pyro Pro. Hired a full-time developer for the first time since we've been in existence. He started earlier this week. That is great. Couldn't be more excited to have somebody be able to put a full-time amount of work into the Pyro site and all of our development. Super excited about that. Pyromaniac.com is different than other sites and some of the other fantasy football sites out there. We built this site from the ground up. This is not some WordPress or some blog site. This is a site that I designed along with some help of other people, and we built our admin from the ground up. It's a Ruby on Rails product, and while that's turned out to be a bit more expensive over the course of 6 or 7 years, it makes it so we own this product. We have built this and put our own stamp on it. So just to have our own developer is great, but a big differentiator between Pyro and some of the other sites is just a lot of those sites are just bloggers. They got a blog template that they put together, and I think you can tell, and that shows through with our visuals, the aesthetic, our characters, our illustrations, and just the overall look and feel of Pyromaniac.com. There's something different happening there, and I work very hard on that with the help of some other talented souls to make sure that whenever you come to Pyromaniac.com, it is a totally different experience than you're going to be able to get when you go to some of the other sites out there. And that's just something that we're proud of. And hopefully when you guys use our product, it's something that really draws you in and excites you as well. Because we're going to keep on doing it. We're going to make sure our visuals are always searing and ahead of the curve and just really, really Nike, ESPN, the magazine level. And I think we're doing a good job with that. One of the things we've got going on with Pyro Pro is pretty soon, I think probably next week, we're going to have a pre-order available so people can pre-order Pyro Pro. Hopefully there'll be some sort of discount, working out the numbers and some of the finer details of that. Daisy's being so loud in this video, it's hilarious. Now she's scratching. Are you trying to get my attention over there? Anyway, this is just a impromptu video. Just thought, off the cusp, wanted to talk to you guys and mention some of these things. So be on the lookout for Pyro Pro. Going to be exciting. You're going to be able to insert up to 30 players that you're following or have on your team or teams, and all of our news and rankings and stories that have those players will come in and be pulled into a dashboard. On top of that, there will be second opinions that you'll be able to ask us. Some of you guys love that, and we get a ton of second opinions from all of our fans out there. That is going to only be available to Pyro Pro members. On top of that, is in Pyro Pro, there's going to be this crazy resource toolbox of charts and info. We're going to have a beat writers piece where we've got all the following information on Twitter handles and websites and emails that you can follow the local beat writers for all the 32 different teams. It's an awesome piece. It's a way to get closest to the business, get the people that know the product and their players and their teams the most intimately, and we're huge proponents of following the guys that are at those practices, following the guys that are in the OTAs and seeing these players, following the reporters and getting the information from the guys that see it firsthand. So other things in the resource toolbox, some of which are in our draft kit, which I'll mention in a little bit, but just going to be pretty awesome. I think For the first year, we're going to try and flush it out and make the Pyro Pro the best product it can be. But just over time, we'll be feature-laden and bringing new elements to Pyro Pro and building it out. That is the reason why we hired a full-time developer. And it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm ready for that thing to launch. There's no question about that. Another great thing we got happening right now at Pyromaniac is just a ton of content. We were working very hard on our draft kit, which you should pick up if you haven't already. We're on version 3 of our draft kit. We'll have a different new version out about the 15th of every month. It's been coming out about the 17th or 18th over the last 2 versions, just because we are adding and growing it and filling it out even more and more. But awesome draft kit. There's nothing else in the industry like it. I'm telling you, I haven't got one bad piece of feedback on someone that's dropped the $20 and gotten it. The future versions will get automatically sent to your email address. I mean, the thing is just pretty remarkable. I'm just so proud of Stags and some of the rest of the team and what we've been able to create there with this draft kit. There's 22 tabs in the thing. We've got bye weeks, depth charts, strength of schedule, that strength of schedule tab, and I've been told this many times, but we all believe it. It's worth $20 on its own. The things that we're doing there, we talk about on the podcast plenty, but that strength of schedule is ridiculous. We got sleepers tabs, so we're giving you sleepers, we're giving you busts. Tiers tab. It's got all of our tiers. It's got mine, dogs, Houdini, stag parties, Mo's are in there, OCs are in there, and then we also have a row that has our collective combined tiered rankings based on the averages of where we have guys. And then on the far right of that, we actually allow you to put your tiers in next to ours. So I think that's a great tier. We got our top 200 guys are in that. We got the rankings at all positions. We got PPR rankings. Then there's player rankings for QBs, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. And those tabs are ridiculous because we have pros and cons for every player. And we've got the strength of schedule for them included there, and the last 5 or 6 years of stats from them. Pretty sweet tabs right there. I mean, you could just get lost for a weekend just reading through those alone. We've got that much content going into them. I forget what Stag said, but before we put that tab into place, into the Excel document, there was something like 45 pages of pros and cons based on the players. Think about that. 45 pages of bullet points for all the players. Pretty sweet. God, man, the team works hard on this stuff. We got a kicker and defense tab sitting there that helps you, who you should take for those 2 positions. We got a rookies tab. We got power rankings, which is a big belief and a thing that we kind of created and have been pushing that agenda. That's a tab as well. You got fantasy football points versus the ADP from last year. Great chart that shows you, hey, here's where guys went last year and here's where their final ADP is, and you can get a color-coded chart based and get a sense of where values happened last year to think and latch on to trends and way things can go for this year, 2015. We got TD dependency, which is a great chart for each position showing how much the fantasy points are dependent on TDs versus yards and other things like that. Great stuff. Snap counts. You find out who the players. If you're going high on a guy, he better be getting a ton of snap counts. He better be on a majority of the plays and sets and downs for that team. That tab gives you an unbelievable insight to that. There's a bonus charts with a whole bunch of different bonus charts and just awesome stuff there. Then there's after that we do a 10-team mock where we do a mock draft with 10 teams, serpentine style, and then we actually have a write-up and a review by each of the 10 teams that drafted in this on what they thought about their team. Really cool stuff. So pick up that draft kit. We've spent hundreds of hours on this thing, literally, since the Super Bowl ended, and it's just awesome. So it's the one thing right now before Pyro Pro comes up that we charge for, and we put a lot of effort into it. So if you want to help a brother out, help small business like Pyro and the rest of the gang, and give back for all that we're giving to you, please pick that up. You will not regret it. Using that information and then creating your tiers for yourself, for your upcoming drafts, I'm telling you, you are going to be a lethal weapon. You're going to walk out of your draft with the best team. No question about it. Good times all around. So, back to other content. I just put up Mo's tiers piece. That's pretty sweet. We've been doing these team outlooks, which are pretty great content. We're going through fantasy football by team, going through and looking at where each team, where their strengths are, where their pros and cons based on the team, some pros and cons for their players, talking about the coaching staff, tendencies, offensive lines. Pretty good big picture for all 32 teams to give you a sense in the power and numbers and the teams that are going to be fantasy football relevant. Really like that one. So we've got, obviously other content that's been going up. We're going to be doing a couple video casts. We're going to be doing a couple in the next few days that are going to be, one of them is going to be showing the draft kit as some sort of how-to or product video, I suppose is what you could call it. So we had a great thing happen this week with the Pyro podcast, which, as you guys, many of you listen. Thank you for that. Our numbers are off the charts on the listens that we're getting, and we're just so excited about that. But Pyromaniac Mo and Stag Party actually branched out and started the Pyro Podcast Lite this week. On Wednesday, they recorded their first episode of that Pyro Podcast Lite, and it was awesome. It was a great debut. Basically, it's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. This one went an hour and 20 minutes, but they'll figure it out. And it's going to be much more regimented and going to have a number of topics that they're going to cover on a continual basis. Essentially, during the season, that'll be coming out on Friday. And the Pyro podcast that we produce, we actually record that on Tuesday. So there's a lot of information during the week, pickups, injuries, other kind of information and news that's fantasy relevant that happens from after that Tuesday and then the Sunday games in season. So during the season, they're going to be doing it on Friday. I don't know what day they're going to be doing it weekly this offseason. But check that out. It is really great. Obviously, Mo and Stags know fantasy football well. Stags knows the game of football and the ins and outs of it really, really well. And there's not a more studied guy that uses more websites and listens to more podcasts and kind of entrenches himself deeper in fantasy football than Pyromaniac Mo. So the two of those guys bringing it and having, discussions and actually kind of arguments or arguments, not in a negative way, but about certain guys is great. This isn't just I agree fest. I agree. All the podcasts that I tend to listen to out there, it's just a bunch of talking head experts that are sitting there agreeing with each other, and they're snooze fests. I hope that you agree, and obviously we bring a different edginess in our Pyro podcasts. Certainly I do, and we have a lot of fun there. So if you're not listening to our Pyro podcast, start. It'll make you a much better fantasy football owner. Another thing that's going to be coming out, 2 weeks ago I put up Stag Party's Draft Manifesto. Houdini, mine, Pyromaniac Mo's, and Dogmatica's manifestos will be coming out in the coming weeks. Those are exciting. Those are kind of our draft strategy approaches. Fun stuff, but very, very... very good information for the kind of things that you need to be focusing on in the off season, during the season, leading up to your draft day do's and don'ts, all that kind of good stuff. So we've had a great addition to Pyromaniac come along this week, and Justin, who's been helping out with the Pyro characters. So we got a bit behind on the Pyro characters just because there's so much movement with players, and there's just so many new rookies that come in. And Justin is kind of a Jersey head and an illustrator, and he's been a fan of Pyro for a while, and he kind of reached out to me and said, hey, I'd love to help with any of the graphics and visuals that you guys do. I know you've got a lot going on and all that kind of stuff. Before then, for the most part, it's been on my shoulders. So it's one of those things that slips and through the cracks because I'm so busy with all the other ins and outs of Pyromaniac. So, Justin, hats off to you, my man. Those characters look great. We've got all sorts of retro jerseys. We got home and away. We got the alternative jerseys. Man, just to see what he's been able to do in the past week with some of these teams that he's blowing through, mostly at the running back position so far, has been awesome. So exciting. Pretty much by the version 4 of the draft kit, we will have every player character in there instead of missing images, which we've had in the first 3 versions. So just exciting. On the team, part of Pyro Pro is following your players. So we just want to make sure in this experience that all the guys are in there and those little Pyro character illustrations are looking really sweet. We know that that's something that everyone gets pretty excited about with Pyromaniac. So thanks again for that, Justin. Good stuff all around. I think it's pretty much all I got for you guys. I mean, I think I pretty much covered it all. We're doing those Pyro Pro video casts. We haven't been able to do them every week just because we spend so much time in pre-production for the Pyro podcast that sometimes we just don't have enough time. But we're going to be up in that game. Like I said, Stag Party and I are going to be doing a couple videos above and beyond this State of the Union addressed video that I'm presenting to you right now. But we're just excited for everything that's going on. I want to give a shout out to Houdini, who's been working super hard and going through, a lot of stuff in his personal and work life, like we all do. It's life, but he still finds the way to carve out time to get the work done and get the content and deliver those great pieces like Career Year Beware, which he did. He's working right now on this tiers matrix document, which is crazy. It basically breaks down tiers into this granular, I think it's about 10 different subcategories. Pretty awesome. Very, very time consuming, and he's working on that. He's going to help out with some of those team outlooks as well, come in and add some more spice and some more fantasy detailed action. He's actually on the golf course right now teeing off, so I hope he's not like Spalding and screaming and hitting all sorts of divots out and saying rat farts. $100 says he eats it. So, Stag Party. Want to give you a shout out too, buddy. He's got so much that he does on a day-to-day basis. The draft kit was his baby this year. So much time spent on that thing, helping me manage the other content writers. Doing a great job with that Pyro Light, podcast Light that you're doing. Just impressed by how much work that you can get done in a given week and how dedicated you are to Pyromaniac. So keep it up, my friend. We really appreciate it, and all the guys do too. Dogmatica, been helping out with the player rankings and working that stuff into the website, and then other content, a lot of it which goes into the draft kit. The strength of schedule is his. Obviously, he does his tiers for the draft kit. So Dogmatica, he's our player ranking guru. He's always going to be the guy that we lean on the most. He's probably the most knowledgeable guy with fantasy football that you'll ever come across. He's our Rain Man. He's just definitely got those numbers and finds those gems and those nuggets like no one else. If you've been following Pyromaniac for a while, you know it. Dogmatica shines through on content all the time. He's been there from the beginning with me. We started the company together, so it's been awesome. Going into, I think, our 7th year here at Dogmatica. Hats off. Just keep working hard and keep firing it up. We're gonna break through. We're gonna be a household name here soon enough. So just keep firing it up, my man. Pyromaniac Mo, he's been awesome. It's been so sweet the last week having him back on basically full time. He's a teacher, so in his off season and when he's not teaching our future generation of kids, awesome stuff. I can't imagine what a great teacher he must be. But having you working on Pyro at such a strong level during the off season, during the summers, and during the season, appreciate it so much. Again, I know he's like, I got to grade papers, and he'll still find a way to put in that 3 or 4 hours on a fall night in season for Pyromaniac.com. Man, you've been an awesome find and an awesome partner to bring into the mix. Valverde is the man. He's been helping out so much with the Pyro pros and cons that we put in the draft kit. He's writing a number of these team outlook pages. He's a guy that's also in the mock drafts from the draft kit, and just a guy that's fun to have around. So Valverde, appreciate all your effort, buddy, and glad you're in the mix. Thanks, dude. You got OC. OC helps us out with a lot of content and ideas. This week, he came up with a great idea that we're going to do for the Pyro Pro League, setting up that whole thing. We're going to be doing, I think we're going to have either 4 or 6 open slots where we're going to allow our fans to do a video and submit it on why they should be asked to be included in this league. We're excited to see some of those videos, but we're setting that whole thing up now over the next 2-3 weeks. Believe me, you'll know when the invites and trying to get those videos are coming, you'll know. But OC also is on Twitter like a madman. So Stags, I didn't mention that with Stag Party, helping out with Twitter, helping me out a lot there. Our Twitter account is awesome amongst the 3 of us. Great stuff. But OC really doing a lot there. He's also our Reddit guy. So, basically Pyromaniac.com is on Reddit, and we're trying to grow that area and grow that community. Obviously, there's not as much happening during the off season, but there was some buzz last week with Houdini's career year beware piece. That's kind of fun. So, OC, thanks for all the stuff you do. Thanks for all your great ideas for Pyro. Keep it up, man. Really, really appreciate it there. We got other people that are obviously bringing, other elements to the mix. We got Kania, who's a new man to the mix, helping out with these team pages, team outlooks. So thanks for that, buddy. He's going to be helping out with some of the content muscle, which is friggin' great. Couldn't be happier about that. So yeah, we've just got some exciting stuff. Suits is bringing the heat here and there. Hope everything's going well there. Let's touch base pretty soon here, homie. He did just a number of great things for us during every off season. So it's a huge thing. I put a lot of passion into this. I want Pyro to succeed like nothing else, but can't do it by myself and couldn't imagine creating this beautiful monster of madness known as Pyromaniac without all of those guys. So big hats off, pat on the back, high five, chest bump, whatever it takes. Just much love, much appreciation. I'm a positive reinforcement guy, and every once in a while it's just great to be told how hard the fruits of your effort and the fruits of your labor means something. So guys, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you so much on that stuff. Pyromaniac.com. Couldn't be anything without you guys, the fans. You guys are just super awesome to us. I just know that you guys are crushing your leagues, and just the people that are doing it year-round and off-season, and there is no off-season, and just taking our information and putting your own, stamp and fingerprint on it. You're going to be a badass fantasy footballer. There's just no question about it. We work too hard on it. We've got great minds for this fantasy football stuff. I've been doing it since '88. Dog's been doing it since, I think, '91. Houdini's been doing it since about '95. Stag Party was born in '96. Just kidding. But, at the end of the day, we've been doing this for a long time, and there's a bevy of knowledge here, just a wealth of knowledge that we're taking from our experiences in fantasy football and bringing it back to you guys. So thank you to you, Pyros. You're awesome. Keep it up. Thanks for joining us on this sweet journey. We're just really excited. It's going to be a big year for us. We're just really excited. So thank you. Pyromaniac.com. D-Rex out. State of the Union 2015 summer. Let's do this.